What's up guys, Josh Mosman here. Welcome to episode 36 of our This Week in MXA video series presented to you by O'Neill Racing. In this video, we're putting the 2022 Honda CRF250, the all-new model, head-to-head against the 2021 Honda CRF250 that we've had. This bike has basically been the same for the last couple years. 250 is all new for 2022, so I'm super excited to ride these bikes back-to-back for the first time. It's gonna be a great to get these bikes out here on our dirt dyno here at Glen Helen, our home track, the track that we know how it feels. Every inch of the track, I've ridden this place a million times, so excited to break down these two bikes. Completely new engine, completely new frame, new suspension. It's got Pirelli tires versus last year's model. Let's see which one's better, and let's do a little bit of lap time comparison. People request lap times. They want to see which one's faster, and let's see just how much faster I can go or slower I can go on the brand new bike. All right, O'Neill just came out with some new hardware elite gear. So this stuff is pretty nice. The jersey, they sublimated my name and number into it, so that makes me feel really cool. The pants are what I'm really excited about. So these are the hardware pants, but they took a lot of the technology from their Prodigy gear they came out with last year, which I love those pants. They're super flexible. And then these boots, the O'Neill boots, I haven't tried them before. I'm gonna try them for the first time today. I ran into Alex Ray, he's an O'Neill rider, and he wears these boots at the Nationals and in Supercross. And so it's a mid-level price point boots, but Alex Ray said, hey, I like the boots, I trust them. So we talked about it, and now I'm wearing some boots, so I'm excited to try it out today. One thing about the 21 CRF250 that isn't on the 22 CRF250 is that you have to pull in the clutch to start it, so it's kind of weird. It's been a Honda thing, but it's no longer the case in the new bike, so that's nice. Alright, so Josh Fout and I have been riding the bikes back to back. Josh is, I think he's in his 30s, high 20, he's probably like 32. We'll have to ask him later, but he's a vet intermediate and a little bit heavier than me. I'm a pro level rider, 25 years old, and we've been going back and forth on the two bikes. The differences are pretty big, but there are some pros and cons to each one. And I'm excited to go now. We're gonna do some lap time wars, see which one I'm faster on. And same for Josh. I have a feeling I'm gonna be faster on the new bike. The engine feels a lot stronger off the bottom, but we're gonna see exactly how big that gap is and see if there's really a gap at all, so it should be fun.
All right, so we're gonna do lap times when Josh comes by. We're gonna start it here at the telephone pole. Here we go.
right, guys, that was a lot of fun, okay? Testing the brand new 2022 versus last year's 2021 CRF250. This is my favorite type of testing, taking two bikes back to back and being able to ride them at the same time with no different tracks, no different days, no different setups or anything like that. Just taking two bikes in their stock form and comparing them raw, potatoes to potatoes, apples to apples. It was a great day. All right, let's break these two bikes into a couple different segments. As for which one does best in the corners, today, it was actually a lot easier to ride the 2021 model in the corners because the suspension was plusher, it was smoother, it was softer, and it just dove into corners. The tires got a lot of connection to the ground, and overall, I like this one. The 2022 cornering, not as predictable. Suspension, especially the forks, were a lot stiffer than the last year's model, and that made it hard to find traction in corners. All right, now getting into the power, the 2022 by far wins the power department. This bike hits hard on bottom and comes out of corners a lot easier than last year's model. Last year's model, it's slow to come out of the corners, which makes it easy to ride for a beginner and novice rider, but for anybody who's trying to race, anybody who's trying to really go fast, this bike lugs down a lot, and you're gonna need to do a lot of upgrades to be able to keep up with the brand new bike and some of the other bikes that you can buy off the showroom floor. Also, the 2022, when you're talking about power, it also sounds a lot like the YZ250F in its stock version, which I'm not a big fan of. It's got the single muffler instead of the dual muffler that it had last year, so that helped reduce some weight. So power department goes to the 2022. All right, let's talk about the weight. Which one wins in the weight department? By and far the 2022. This bike is 8 pounds lighter. We haven't actually brought it to the MXA scales yet, so we have to kind of double check that before we write our final articles and do our 250 shootout. But Honda claims 8 pounds lighter, and you can definitely feel it on the track, and you can just feel it when you're loading the bike into your truck or putting the bike onto the stand. So 8 pounds lighter, that helps slow it down quicker when you're coming into corners. That helps go faster coming up hills. You have less weight for the engine to carry. I mean, it's a no-brainer that less weight makes for a better motorcycle, and the 2022 wins in that department. All right, breaking apart which bike was more comfortable. This one I have to hand to the 2021 model, okay? The new bike, it's skinnier, it's lighter, and I think it can be a great bike, but when you buy it from the showroom floor, the forks, as I already said, are too stiff. The bike rides up really high, and it's gonna be a lot harder to feel comfortable on the brand new bike. Last year's model, super comfortable. Suspension is a little bit softer, it flows through a little more plush. Overall comfort and rideability really goes to the 2021 model. All right, breaking apart the price, the new model 2022 comes in at $8,099 at full retail price. It's gonna be hard to find any motorcycle right now because demand is so high. Everybody's trying to buy bikes. Dealers are upselling bikes. Used bikes are going for premium prices. So it's gonna be hard to find either one of these models, but if you go to the dealer quickly, put your name in, you could probably snag a 2022. 8,000 bucks is a decent price for a new model. Good price, really. Last year's bike, it's definitely gonna be cheaper if you find one or if you buy it used. You just need to know that it's gonna be heavier, slower, and not quite as race ready as the new model. So that's price. Definitely, it's definitely a toss up there. It depends on who you are and where you want to spend your money on. All right, in the lap time department, which bike was I faster on? By and far the 2022 model. Originally, when I rode the 2021, I thought that I was actually gonna be closer. I was really surprised when I was on the track because I wasn't making a lot of mistakes. I was pretty smooth, but because it was so much slower, I wasn't able to keep up, especially with these steep Glen Helen hills and the long start straightaway we have going into Talladega here at Glen Helen. So I ran a 208 on the brand new 2022 model, and I ran a 210 immediately after on the not the brand new, but on the 2021 model. So 2 seconds, that's a pretty big gap for me. And that's something that you guys need to factor in. This bike is definitely more race ready, the 2022, even though it could use some refinements in the suspension department. All right, guys, finishing things off, which Honda CRF250 should you buy? Well, I think almost every department, the 2022 CRF250 is your go-to bike. If you want to go fast, if you're a racer, if you're heavy, if you're light, if you're racing intermediate, pro, basically any kind of racing, the CRF250 for brand new for 2022, that's going to be your go-to model. The only category of riders that I would say might want the 2021 over the 2022 might be a beginner level rider or a lower level novice, somebody who's not hitting the main track at Glen Helen very often. You might be riding trails one weekend, riding at the track another weekend, just getting your feet wet and racing. The 2021 is a very friendly model and is good for that category of riders. And if you guys want to learn more about the 2022 Honda CRF250, I break apart all the details, all the parts that have changed on this model, like the tires, the exhaust, the engine, the airbox, the chassis, the frame, suspension, everything that's changed on this bike. I break it apart and ride it at a beautiful Mountain View MX Park in Oregon. We posted that video about 2.5 to 3 weeks ago now. It's about 20 minutes long of me going in-depth details on this bike. So for more information about it, check out that video on our YouTube channel or our website. And if you want to know more about the 2021 model, we have a video of that on our website and on our YouTube channel as well. So check us out there. Thank you guys for tuning in to This Week in MXA. As always, check out motocrossactionmag.com for more bike tests, more testing, more race results. Everything we got going on is on our website. Follow us on Instagram at motocrossactionmag and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. And before you go, leave a comment on our video letting us know if you like this back-to-back shootout versus tested video where we break apart two different bikes. If you like this, let us know in the comments what bikes you would like to see, 2-stroke versus 4-stroke, old bike versus new bike. Let us know what you'd like to see, and hopefully we can make it happen here soon.